Alright, what is up guys, it is Storm back here with another video, and in this one I am bringing you part 10 to Mightless and My Hero Academia story by the Mysterious Banana. Now if you want to check this story out for yourself, the link to it will be down in the description below. But before the video begins, if you like the content you're seeing, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. I mean, they're all free, so why not? If you want some dope channel merch, the link that'll be down in the description below. And if you want to see more of me, go check out my other channels and go follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which will all be linked down below. But without further ado, why don't we just dive right on in. The wet, splattering sounds of one's footprints echoed through the dark, heavy rainstorm as a man, covered in cut wounds, stumbled as he tried to run away from something. Leaving the lit areas in a rush of panic, a plastic card dropped out of his pants, revealing his name. Kuroko Watashi, nickname Parrot Purple, and below all of his personal information lay a certain special text written in all caps and in bold font, Official Hero License. As Kuroko, panting and out of breath, reached an overpass, he thought he was safe, so he leaned against the wall, pressing his flesh wound against the cold, hard cement. He covered up his face, and after holding it back to the point of biting off a chunk of his own tongue, let out a muffled scream. He tried to remember what happened just minutes ago. Him and his three other pro hero partners, Peacock Pink, Crow Blue, and Phoenix Red, known as the Justice Birds, famous for stopping villains in an almost perfectly synchronized fashion, were sent in to deal with a bank robbery. Everything was going fine, until all light in the area suddenly cut out, and then, out of the corner of his eyes, as if it was just a dream, a man. No. A Grim Reaper, clad in black and gray, with a frown that mirrors the smile of All Might himself, sent three men to their grave, his knife dripping with blood, as the noise of everyone panicking blotted out his screams of terror. As soon, under all of the chaos, the Grim Reaper started moving again, looking at him with the glare radiating with hate, and rushing in with his combat knife. Everything up to that point was a blur, and he was unsure what happened next. Suddenly he heard noise to his left. His body shook in fear. He turned around, meeting face to face with the men who claimed the lives of his comrades. He shook in fear and anger. His body told him to run, but all he could think of was avenging his fallen friends. Pointing at him, Kuroko yelled with ferocity, "Who are you?" The supposed Grim Reaper simply laughed, and as his breathing stopped, he suddenly started approaching Kuroko at an impressively high speed, the same speed he took out all of his other pro heroes with. Shaken with fear, Kuroko ran back, before realizing that he was trapped in a dead end. Turned around, he raised both of his arms and embraced for impact. The police arrived soon after, discovering the mangled body of the last of the Justice Birds. "That's the sixth hero dead this week," mumbled one of the police officers. "Who do you think did this?" another one of the officers asked, examining the body. The corpse had several lacerations and slash wounds. Most of them were on the tendon, joint, and waist, the perfect way to slow someone down. But it was a deep cut wound at the man's throat that finished him off. "Report back to the commissioner. It seems as though the Grim Reaper has struck again," the police chief said. The name Grim Reaper was given to the mysterious serial killer that they have yet to catch or even identify. He just knows that the killer likes to toy with his victims, killing them slowly. Some eyewitnesses claim that they saw the Grim Reaper and that he also has a partner of sorts that likes to join him on almost all of his missions. After sending no less than 25 pro heroes, new and veteran, to their grave, the Grim Reaper, although never seen, has officially been added to the Villains Index. Back at the headquarters, Izuku listened to the news, where the main headline was "The Grim Reaper Struck Again." Kurogiri laughed at him, smiling with pride as the news announced his handiwork, though they could have done a better job at naming him. "You made quite a name for yourself, Izuku," said Kurogiri. "Shh," Izuku shushed him. "Oh, right." Kurogiri almost immediately got his message. Suddenly, Toga leapt through the door and hugged Izuku from behind. "Izuku, I'm so happy to see you," Toga cried in joy as she burrowed into Izuku's back. "So, how did I do in my first solo mission?" Izuku asked. Toga looked at him as he turned around to face her. "You did amazing," Toga said, hugging him and resting her face against his chest. Just then, she leapt forward and put Izuku in a headlock, putting him in a submission hold. "You let your guard down again, Izuku," Toga said playfully. "And you got overconfident again," Izuku replied in an equally playful manner, as he opened his left hand, revealing Toga's undergarments. Toga's face went red like a tomato as she let go of Izuku to check herself, but found that her undergarments were still on. Just then, Izuku leapt under her and held her to the ground. That's another point for me, sweetheart, Izuku said in a dominant voice. Okay, you got me. Now, what are you gonna do with this vulnerable body? Toga said seductively. Izuku grinned. Suddenly, Toga's face blushed as she knew what was coming. Wait, Izuku, not here, please, not in front of everyone else, she yelled out. Clearly embarrassed, but it was too late. Izuku leaned down as Toga struggled to get her arms free, pleading for him to stop. Unable to use his hands as they were too busy holding down Toga, Izuku stuck his tongue out. Wait, your tongue? No, that's even worse, Toga cried. Looking around, she was hoping that her fellow villains would help her out, but they were holding out cameras recording this. Please, Toga whimpered as Izuku's tongue met its target. Fuck, it tickles, stop! Toga cried as Izuku tickled her mercilessly. Seeing how twitchy she was, he quickly let go to use his free hands to assist him to his merciless assault. Kurogiri just laughed as this playful fight happened, right under the bar's counter. As the fight finally settled, both Izuku and Toga were panting and sweaty, but still couldn't help but let out a few more giggles. Geez, you really don't show any mercy, do you? You should rename yourself Merciless, Toga said, readjusting her clothes. Well, the only nickname I'll be called now will be Deku, Izuku said with a hint of disappointment. Oh right, your infiltration of Yuuei will be happening tomorrow, Toga said. Yeah, and I'm glad I could have you carry me through these months, strengthening my body and quirk. You are a huge help to me, said Izuku. Yeah, and you were an amazing partner, Toga smiled back, blushing at his compliment. Hey Toga, Izuku asked. Yes, Izu, Toga asked. Suddenly, Izuku lunged in, and both did some mouth-to-mouth that wished it could last forever. When the two finally separated, Izuku looked into her blushing face. Just a little thank you before the big day, Izuku said, before leaving the door. Toga stood there, giddy like a schoolgirl, rubbing her lips as she savored her kiss with Izuku. Those two are just so adorable, Kurogiri commented. The flag of Yuuei swayed in the wind on top of the H-shaped monolith that was Yuuei Academy. Dozens of students and examinees walked about Bello, preparing themselves for the big event. A cad pulled into the bustling driveway as a young teenager with lively green hair and eyes came out. A new day, a new life. Prepare yourself, Yuuei, Izuku said. The mere sight of the massive building was giving him shivers. Although for completely different reasons this time around. He could already picture this massive building going down in flames. Oh, the mere joy. In fact, the mere thought was so joyful, he nearly tripped. Just then, he felt his body get lighter as he floated upwards and landed on his feet. Are you okay? Asked a short brunette running up to Izuku. It's my quirk's ability. Thank me later. It's a bad omen to trip and fall, you know? Izuku wanted to say thanks, but she just kept on talking. Anyway, it really is nerve-wracking, isn't it? One slip up and boom, you fail. Anyways, I gotta dip. Good luck, she said, running off. What's with her? Izuku thought, praying to God Toga wasn't watching. Hey, out of my way, shrimp, a familiar voice yelled. It was Katsuki, as lively and pissed off as usual. Even though he was sick of it, he had to act as the old Deku, as Katsuki knew him since childhood. And if there was one person that could tell something was off, it was him. Hi, Kachan, good luck with the entrance exams, Izuku said, acting nervous as usual. Hi, fucker, wanna get the shit kicked out of you in front of everyone, was what Izuku wanted to say though. Katsuki smiled in a pitiful way. Well, if it isn't Deku, you came to be a pro hero, asked Katsuki in a mocking tone. Well, yeah, of course, it's my lifelong dream. No, I'm here to kill every pro hero from the inside. Ha, what a joke. Listen, you little shit. I'm gonna be the one standing on top of the world here, and you don't even fit as a stepping stone. So how about I give you the directions to the nearest pharmacy, so you can buy the Viagra to go fuck yourself, Katsuki said, smacking him to the ground and walking away. Izuku got up sitting cross-legs. You really talk loud for a wannabe, Izuku mumbled, retaking his villain persona. Excuse me, what was that? Katsuki asked, turning around aggressively. No response. That's what I thought. Getting back up, Izuku walked slowly to the front door. This is a big day, and the start to a big plan, so he knew he had to not fuck it up. Welcome to today's live performance. Everybody say hey, yelled the man in sunglasses with a long, blonde, mohawkish hairstyle, awaiting for a response. The room remained silent, but the man continued to yell as though they had responded. Well, that's cool, my listeners. I'm here to present the guidelines for your practical. Are you ready? He continued. Yeah, he yelled out. but the room still remained silent. Izuku stayed at the other end of the room, noting him down. Voice hero, Present Mike, uses a sound quirk as his own radio channel. He then paused to take a closer look. Very annoying. He added a side note. "Shut up," Katsuki yelled, but his voice was easily blotted out by the teacher's excessive yelling. "Now, this is how the test will go. You will conduct a 10-minute long city landscape maneuver. Within the city, there will be fake villains, each worth different amounts of points. Use your quirk's ability to disable them by any means necessary," the teacher explained, in an exceptionally loud voice. The last phrase disgusted Izuku. "So what, we need quirks to succeed as heroes? What a cop-out," he mumbled. "Of course, playing the anti-hero is prohibited, so no attacking other examinees or you'll be eliminated," President Mike explained. Katsuki grunted in disappointment as he turned to Izuku. "Guess you can live for another day. May I ask a question?" A voice suddenly broke the in-between silence that President Mike takes to catch his breath. Suddenly, a tall, formal-looking student rose up. It was said that there would be no less than 4 variants of fake villains in the handouts. "You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, as the top hero academy of Japan, for making such a blatant error," the student said. "And you," he suddenly turned to Izuku, still taking notes, not even reacting to the student's ferocity. "You've been doing nothing but taking notes during this whole presentation. If you don't want to listen, leave." No response. "Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you," yelled the student. "I can't concentrate when you're screaming," Izuku said in a cold tone. "So kindly, shut up." Izuku let out a murderous glare, sending a small shiver down the student's spine. I'm Tenya Ida, a top-grade senior, and I will not tolerate such rudeness coming from," the student said. "So, now we're talking about hierarchy," Izuku cut off. "I have no obligation to respect a senior from a school I don't go to, just as I have the right to stay silent when someone peeks into someone else's business. So, if you please." I believe your host has a guideline to finish explaining. Tenya stopped talking after that. "Sorry," he said, apologizing and sat back down. Katsuki stared at Izuku in bewilderment. What the hell was that about? Katsuki wondered. Izuku left a smug grin as he continued to take notes. "Alright, now one last thing," the teacher continued. "There will be one last obstacle, the 0-pointer. You will act more like the thwomps from Mario. There's one in each site, and your job will be to avoid it. Got it?" "Yeah," some of the examinees replied. Then, "Break a leg, everyone, plus ultra." The teacher cheered. 愛してる